Uganda is a country on the move with significant economic and society growth. Development of the Standard Gauge Railway represents one of the country's boldest and most powerful statements in pursuing its dreams of complete economic transformation. The key pillar of Vision 2040, the Standard Gauge Railway, is set to revolutionize trade, regional connectivity, and positively impact livelihoods across Uganda and the region.
We are at kilometer 00 in Malaba. This is the starting point of the Standard Gauge Railway on the Ugandan side. Across is Kenya, and right down here is River Malaba, which divides Kenya and Uganda. So the train will come all the way from Mombasa to Malaba on the Kenyan side and then cross through a bridge onto the Ugandan side.
The Uganda SGR, with a cumulative length of 1,724 kilometers, has three routes: the eastern route from Tororo to Kampala, the western route from Kampala to Mpondwe at the border with the DRC, with a branch to Mirama Hills at the Rwanda border, and finally the northern route from Tororo to Nimule on the border with South Sudan. In October 2024, Uganda signed a landmark construction contract with Yapi Makezi, a Turkish firm.
We have already signed an APC, engineering, procurement, construction and a turnkey project with a company called Yapi Makezi. And in November 2024, the President officially commissioned the start of the construction.
This project of the railway, Standard Gauge Railway, is part of that process of rationalization. Our transport system is irrational, and we are going to rationalize it. So therefore, cargo will be on the railway and on the water.
Once we put 90% of the cargo off the road onto SGR, we are going to achieve a number of things. One, we are going to save the roads, tear and wear, and maintenance costs. Two, accidents will reduce. In Uganda, we lose on average 5,000 people on the roads by crash. So we'll be saving life. The SGR is a very fast system. While it takes 7 to 12 days to move cargo from Mombasa to Uganda, now it may take about 3 to 4 days.
The SGR story began a few years ago with careful planning and extensive preparatory work. Key among these activities has been land acquisition, spanning the 12 districts of Tororo, Butaleja, Namutumba, Luka, Iganga, Mayuge, Bugweri, Jinja, Uikwe, Mukono, Wakiso, and Kampala, paving way for the commencement of works on Malaba-Kampala Eastern Route.
The process of land acquisition for this project started in 2015 to ensure that the people who are affected benefit. First of all, at the base, we have a dedicated team which is working under the Chief Government Valuer. First, our teams go to the field and mobilize the people and sensitize them about the project. And I want to say that we didn't have a problem in the acceptability. People were excited about the project coming when they were told that the government wants to do a new railway line.
As a leader, I had to lead by example, by rushing to accept and appreciate what the SGR was doing in the area. That's why you can see there's peace today between SGR and the community around me. I was affected. Previously, I used to sleep in a house like this one here, because I had two of them. One was on the other side, it was put down. After demolishing the other one, I came and I built here. And this is where I'm now staying, and I would like to thank SGR.
Local leaders have played a critical role in ensuring the success of the SGR project by bridging the gap between the government and communities.
A lot of work has been done. One, the preliminary works, compensating the affected people. About 98% of the people who are affected, families and so on, has been done.
Article 26 of the Constitution of Uganda requires that compensation to affected persons is done in a timely, fair and adequate manner.
I was one of the affected persons in the Standard Gauge. Here is where I was as my home. When SGR gave us that money through the bank, I called my children together. We sat down with them and we planned for that money, whereby we came out to buying this house here I showed you as first. The balance which remained is the one I bought this house. After being compensated, I feel I've now moved a step ahead.
The government has supported SGR over the years to enable us to acquire the right of way of the 273 kilometers Malaba to Kampala. We have acquired the land from Malaba, which we may call kilometer 0, up to Jinja. almost 100%. We are now moving to Buyikwe, and after Buyikwe we shall be moving to Mukono and Kampala.
We are at Mpologoma River. This is one of the key points where a major infrastructure is going to be installed. We will have a railway bridge crossing, roughly 200 meters long, into the corridor, which will now go straight into the Buola station.
The financing of the railway is structured in 3 or 4. The first one is the ECAs, where we expect them to bring in about 60%. Then we have the DFIs, led by the African Development Bank. We expect about 25% of the financing to come from them. And then we have the government. Also, we are going to mobilize our own money directly from the tax revenue, but also from domestic borrowing, which will contribute about 15%. That's where we picked the 75 million euros we are starting with.
Okuzimba kugenda kutandika ate mwe Madiganderi muline station. Omanyi okuzimba station eyo ebeera ngazi okusinga line railway gyekola ki gyeyitamu. Abafubuka, abakyala, abaami abagenda okukola ku railway buli omu ajja kufuna kasente. Nga mufunye kasente kabeera kamaka, tekabeera kak'omwami oba tekabeera kak'omukyala.
To date, over 150 kilometers of land has been acquired between Tororo and Kampala, and nearly 6,000 people have been compensated.
Butiga emala okutwala eitaka batubala buli kintu kyewali olina kyebigogo, emiti, enumba, latrini, abalwere batubala batuwa musente. Engeri yetwali nga tusula bubi nga embeera tineeyo buti tuli ba mulembe oli kubona amayumba getuli mu ga mulembe.
We have had a lot of activities, engagement with the people and SGR when they are being compensated. For instance, I may talk about areas like Chitovu, Makenke, Sakabusolo. These were typically almost slum areas because the station is going to be around Chitovu. I'm informed that we shall have roads leading that station and so on. We have a school like Chimasa Primary School. It was compensated, it's going to be displaced. But I've seen the new plans. They are going to put up better classrooms in a better environment.
A vast majority of the project-affected persons did self-demolition after they were compensated.
In Jinja, among the people affected include those who are engaged in fish farming. And these people had ponds in the villages of Makenke and Chitovu. These people were duly compensated by the government and moved into a lake to a more improved fish farming system using cages. And this shows the economic impact that the project has had. But also importantly, it's in Jinja that we are going to have a super major bridge and one of the critical infrastructures along this line. And this is the Nile Bridge. And this bridge is about 600 meters.
Beyond land acquisition, several technical preparations have been ongoing. Engineers, environmentalists, planners and others have worked tirelessly to ensure the Standard Gauge Railway is developed in an efficient and cost-effective manner.
How does the SGR bring down the cost of transport? One train is going to carry over 100 containers. Now, for those 100 containers, if you're using a truck, each carrying 2 containers, and each truck has a driver and a turn boy, but possibly on one train, you're going to have less than 5% of those workers. But remember, you're not losing the jobs because the SGR has created those jobs elsewhere at the handling facilities, but also the interconnecting businesses, so you're not losing jobs.
At the back of all this planning is a desire to build a sustainable and positively impactful railway system.
We ensure that Ugandans will have to benefit in a way of participating in the project, what we call national content, through labor subcontractors, through provision of services, up to 40%.
As construction unfolds, opportunities abound for Ugandans and the national and local government.
The train we are developing today in Uganda, the Standard Gauge Railway, shall be moving at a speed of 120 kilometers for passengers and 100 kilometers per hour for cargo. Now you can imagine from Mombasa to Kampala, we have about 1,200 kilometers. So for a passenger, if we are to be moving straight from Mombasa to Kampala, non-stop, we are talking about 12 hours. And the distance between the running rails is 1 meter, 435 millimeters.
The locomotives of the Standard Gauge Railway will be electrical powered and the freight train will be double stacked, that is one container above the other.
We chose to go electric Standard Gauge Railway because we generate our own electricity. We have enough electricity in the country and which we can supply to the project at a very reduced cost, unlike where we cannot control the fuel prices. Once we finish the Kampala-Malaba, we are coming to the western, northern, to ensure we are connected all the neighboring countries which are surrounding us.
We are now in Namamve, the location we have put aside for the Kampala East Station. It is one of the major stations of the SGR. It is going to have a workshop for maintenance of the locomotives and all other equipment that will be used for the railway. It will also have inland container depots and it will also have freight yards.
We call upon Ugandans to support the SGR. It is our project and it is the kind of transport that can handle the needs of the future.
Standard Gauge Railway Uganda, reliable connectivity.